Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Thanks for being with us. 888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Don't forget, later on this morning, be doing Off the Record.
And what time is that?
10 o'clock Central.
10 o'clock Central?
Yeah, 10 o'clock Central.
All right, so what time would that be on the East Coast?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock Eastern.
Coast. 10 o'clock Central. 11, 10 Central this morning. So that's live.
We're sure about that.
I'm sure as I can be. Since we've been promoting it that way, I'm sticking to it. Yeah.
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 You show up at the correct place at 10 a.m. Central.
That's what I'm doing.
And if the other people in the building that put that on the air are there,
they want to be late, and do it at 11, they can do it with whoever's sitting there at 11.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. So
we got to go to blazetv.com/Pat. Sign up.
Yes.
You'll see it at 10 a.m. Central.
Where you can ask me anything. We can talk about anything. It's a chance for us to be intimate together. And yeah. So
if you could ask Pat Gray one thing, today's your chance.
That's the big opportunity.
All right.
Yeah. Did this a while ago with Stu, and then I was supposed to do it again solo a while ago. The first time, I think Glenn was sick and I had to fill in for him. Second time, I was sick and in the hospital.
Okay.
And so, third time's the charm, we hope.
Maybe not.
Maybe. So, join me for Off the Record today, 11 Eastern, 10 Central this morning. They did want to change it, I guess, but we've already promoted the fact that it's a 10.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I hope they don't call me. I'll be watching the Masters somewhere.
Oh, is that start already today?
Today's the
starts
day.
On Thursday, huh?
Mm-hmm. 4-day tournament.
Who's going to win that?
Oh, gosh. I wish Rory would win, but I don't.
I like Rory.
Ever since he blew it on the very last 9 holes about 10 years ago, I've wanted him to win every Masters since.
And he hasn't. He hasn't ever won the Masters.
Not really come close. Either.
How many majors has he won? You know, it's like 4 or 5 or something.
Boy, I don't
something
know.
Like that. 6. He's other than Tiger, he's probably the most popular golfer in the world, right? I would think.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I think he carries a lot of weight, and his staying in the PGA has certainly helped the PGA a lot that he didn't defect and go to live, because I'm sure they offered him a ton of money. I'll bet they offered him comparable to what they offered Phil Mickelson. I'll bet they offered him upwards of $200 million, and he's stuck with the PGA.
They could offer me that. I'll go play. I'll take that spot
for live. Oh,
yeah.
You kidding me?
$2 million, yeah.
Let's see, to secure my family's future forever. Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not saying I'll win.
Yeah, but they killed Jamal Khashoggi. Oh. Yeah. I'm a little fuzzy on that, but I'm going to the live tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, it's not my job to figure out the political machinations of all these stinking countries.
Yeah.
How about that?
And we've made the point before that how many guys could boycott the Masters based on any number of things the Biden administration has done,
gosh.
the Wilson administration, anything.
Yeah,
You just fill in the blank.
Right. There's no nation on earth that's perfect.
Right.
And doesn't have any, taint on it.
Oh, wow. Oh, very beautiful. That really calmed us down there. This is the Jim Nance. Hello, friends. Welcome to Augusta National.
Isn't that nice?
Here this weekend where...
I was a little fuzzy on that because I don't watch the Masters.
Fuzzy Zeller reference? No? Oh, no. Okay. And by the way, here is a cool... This is good. You're going to love this. I got this message this morning from a padhead, James. His dad was working at Augusta National security at the back door of the clubhouse. In the year he was there, Fuzzy Zeller had Billy Casper as his caddy. As they were walking up to the door, Billy handed Fuzzy a scorecard. When he saw the scorecard in the mid-'90s, he said, "I'm not signing this blank," balled up the scorecard and threw it in the trash can by the door. After they went inside, my dad grabbed it. He has one of the very few missing Masters tournament scorecards.
Oh, that's cool.
That is so cool. I'd have that framed.
Yeah, that's fun. That's great. So when was the last time Tiger won the Masters?
That's
been
that long
a while,
ago,
hasn't it?
No.
No? Oh, he surprisingly won it, like recently.
Yeah.
Right? Within the last few years?
Yeah.
Since he's been having his back problems.
Gosh, my computer today is not in a good mood. Masters where it was. I literally, it's like the computer isn't even alive right now. So I have no idea.
Well,
but it wasn't that long. That's gonna be a problem today. Oh gosh. Oh, it's been a good start though.
Yeah, that's great. Matt Walsh was at an event where he had people from the trans community dialogue with him in a public forum. We got to have a conversation. Haven't we decided that we need to have a conversation? So apparently there was this trans guy who identifies, of course, as a woman. Mm-hmm. Matt Walsh just wanted a definition of what a woman is. So here's what happened between the two of them.
You're saying that you discovered that you're a woman. I'm asking you how you did. That's a very fair question.
Okay.
How do you know that you're a woman?
That's fine. All right. So first of all, listening to transgender people, and it was like, okay, this is a one-off, one person describing these things. Things like looking at yourself in the mirror and not recognizing yourself. Hearing compliments like, you are such an example, like a positive masculine role model. And just hearing that and being like, it feels like they're talking about somebody else. It means feeling alone, even when you're surrounded by guys, even when you have a lot
Pause
of
Pause
friends.
it for a second.
And
Whoever called this guy a positive masculine role model. No wonder you thought they were talking about somebody else. I think they're talking about somebody else as well. If they're directing that anywhere near you, that doesn't seem right to me either. So,
we're gonna need to revisit that.
Yeah, there's more here.
And like Boy Scouts, I'm an Eagle Scout. I had great masculine role models my whole life, and yet I never felt like I belonged. I felt welcome and included.
Why does that make you a woman?
Because
as opposed to just a man who doesn't get along with some other men, or a man who's depressed, or a man who doesn't feel at home totally in his body, which, by the way, is a pretty universal human experience. Everybody goes through it at one time or another. So in what way does that make you a woman, though? And it's interesting. You're telling me that you listen to the experiences of other transgender people.
Well, yeah.
But what about women?
So
because trans women are women, you would say, right?
I would say that. Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yes.
Okay, well then why do you need to hear the testimony of quote unquote trans women? Like how you pick any actual woman in this room? In what way do you know that you belong in the same category as them?
I know because they tell me. So here was
You need them to tell you what you are?
Women.
Nice.
Yes. I trust the opinions of the women around me.
And if most women,
it's incredible. You might try it sometime.
If most women voted and said they don't see you as a woman, would you say I'm not a woman anymore?
If who?
If most women voted and said they don't see you as a woman anymore, would you then relent and say, I'm not a woman?
I would say most people on the planet have no idea who I am. I'm going to trust the opinions of the people who've spent their lives with me.
But you are relying on other people to tell you who you are, is what we're establishing.
For context, I know you like to think, I know you like to say, everybody's rah-rahing and supporting transgender people, and yet they're still killing themselves, etc. But I'm standing here in a room full of people applauding you and asking questions like, how can I put out legislation here in New Mexico, my home state I grew up in, to try to reverse transgenderism? I'm not safe. And
how are you not safe? You just said you're standing in a room with people who disagree with you, and you're perfectly fine. So how are you not safe? Okay, look, we're going round and round. You don't want to answer any of the questions. Maybe we'll end with this because we're talking about womanhood. So people can probably shout out the question I'm going to ask you right now.
Okay.
But you know that you're a woman.
Yes.
What is that?
So gender is a social thing. It only
I don't want
makes
to hear
sense
that. What is a woman?
No.
What is a woman?
What is a woman?
The word woman, define in the dictionary. Go.
A woman is somebody who is included and respected and seen and participates in society, recognized by other women. If you speak with women...
Bro.
What?
Circular definition.
That's mine. Whatever.
Okay. All right.
Whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Good.
I think that's the definition. Whatever.
Yeah.
And by the way, I didn't send this video in today because I didn't want anyone to vomit profusely. But that Dylan Mulvaney, he's now the
Nike's spokesperson for sports bras.
What is happening?
Yeah, it's great. That's great. You can't find an actual woman, a biological woman, to represent sports bras exclusively worn by women. You got to find a man to do that. What is the matter with you?
Enraging,
What
man.
is the matter with you, Nike? This Dylan Mulroney or Mulvaney, whatever. Why is everybody suddenly in love with this person and using them to hawk their products?
I remember the first video he put out, a year or so ago, and he's dancing out in a field, and I think the majority of us saw that and thought that, he's making fun of people that claim to be women. Like, we thought it was a joke. No, he was being real.
No, he's serious.
And he has parlayed that into a hell of a living now.
Yeah, no kidding.
With yesterday, I read off, 8 or 10. There's more sponsors than that. There's a longer list than that. What is happening? This is just, it's madness. We have not only accepted mental illness, but now we are elevating it and allowing it to be the spokesperson for companies. Insane. And
what is it? 41% of these people who go through this change wind up committing suicide. It's outrageous that we're celebrating this. They're troubled and they need help. I'm sorry. Just because women tell you you're a woman doesn't make you one.
What? I thought that was our definition.
If people around you told you you were a farm animal, would you then believe you're a farm animal? Is that how you identify yourself?
Oh, we should try that experiment with someone without them knowing.
Wow. That is just, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. What do you mean other people told you that you're a woman? It just doesn't make any sense.
Way to admit that you aren't really in control of yourself.
Yeah. And that's not how you identify. That's how other people identify you. How do you identify then? It's crazy. It's just nuts. And yet, they are controlling our society right now. These extremists in the trans movement. Not just regular trans people who are living their own lives and leaving everybody else alone. It's these extremists who are trying to absolutely topple our civilization and turn society on its head.
And I'm so sick of people like that guy talking about Wash saying, I feel unsafe.
Now, shut up.
That's on you, man. I don't know.
Unsafe.
What are you talking about? And it's not the first rhetoric that we're going to hear like that this morning with our clips.
Yeah,
Again, I ask, where is the evidence? Like, where are you being attacked, whether physically or emotionally? Because I'm not going to play your little pronoun game. That's an attack. Toughen up, man. Well, okay, no, wait. Toughen up, man, if it's a woman become a man. But if it's a man becoming a woman, never mind. It's just impossible.
Maybe it's soften up.
Soften up.
Woman.
Wait,
Soften up.
Either way, don't
Chick.
play this game.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not using your definitions that you are, by the way, creating on the fly to begin with. Ugh.
And I love the fact that Matt pointed out, you're in a room full of people who disagree with you, and you're perfectly fine.
Right.
What are you how are you unsafe in any way here? We're having a discussion. Does that make you unsafe? Then you don't belong in America. Meanwhile, in Canada, there's a bill making it a serious crime to not use people's preferred pronouns and all of that nonsense.
Is this around events? So this is like around trans events. They're trying to get this law passed in Ontario.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Firstly, it enables the Attorney General to create a 2S LGBTQI plus
They changed it on you, dude.
community safety zone to prohibit within 100 meters of the property
2S.
any homophobic, transphobic act of intimidation, threat, offensive threats, offensive remarks, protest, disturbance, and distribution of hate propaganda within the meaning of the criminal code. It also comes with it a penalty of $25,000 if prosecuted successfully.
Pause it for a second. So Canada is wiping out. Can you freeze that? Freeze that last frame. They're making it a criminal offense to say anything about LGBTQ people around an event. All right, so you're creating a no free speech zone. Can you freeze that last frame?
Yeah,
where we saw the 2S thing. Because I
just put the video back up and hit pause. If you could.
That would be good. Yeah.
Play pause.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Okay.
Well.
Okay. Yeah. There it is. 2S. They switched the 2 from the end to the beginning because it used to be 2 plus. It was LGBTQIA 2 plus. Now it's 2S. So Two Spirit gets top billing now.
Exactly. Yep. They're bearing LGB.
2S LGBTQI plus. Huh. Protect them because I guess Two Spirit.
How many people identify as Two Spirit?
I mean, how many? Seriously, yeah,
And
that's
you know
got to
what?
be a tiny minority.
Better stated, how many people 2 years ago identified as Two Spirit?
Yeah, probably none. Like 3 on the planet.
It's a nightmare.
So you can't have free speech in Canada anymore if there's anybody in the Two Spirit LGBTQIA plus community.
And by the way, that's cultural appropriation when you take that Two Spirit and start using it in the trans movement, since that's roots are in Native America.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
It's madness.
And you could be fined $25,000, I guess, arrested and then fined. Wow.
Yeah, by the way, you can put that tweet back up there that you put up momentarily from Tim Young, friend of the program, with the title, The Woke Reboot of X-Men Isn't Looking Good, you guys. I mean, that's a good one. Oh, boy. And so many masks, too. Tells you everything I need to know right there.
Wow. Jeez.
It's a freak show, man. It just is.
It's incredible.
It just is.
That's incredible.
So I don't know. Have we played all of this clip from the lawmaker?
I think we did, yeah.
Okay, so let's...
I think we did. Here's a trans man with his perspective
he
on
feels
how people in the trans community are treated.
It's unsafe.
Drag is all about spreading love and acceptance and allows people to feel empowered and special. Drag artists and trans people have an inherent right to live freely and authentically in their truth.
Good, go for it.
Everyone wants and
nobody's
deserves to feel
stopping you from
safe
doing
and
that.
valued in their work.
Right.
That is why these recent acts of organized
Pause
protests
it for a sec. You do not. People are protesting. You doing this to children. I don't give a rat's anus whether you do it among adults or not. I don't care how many times you do your drag pole routine or whatever it is you're doing at a bar or an event that is peopled by adult persons who have chosen to be there of their own free will. That's great. Knock yourself out. Don't do it to our children.
Have you heard one human being on this planet
Never
say that you shouldn't do drag shows whatsoever?
No. Never. There's never been a problem until recently when they started trying to affect our children. This all began with the library situation and the story time for 3 and 4-year-olds with the guy with the horns at that New York library.
Yep.
And it's like, what are you doing? What is this? And then it started not just the drag time story hour, but they were performing in front of children, tiny little children, in their faces, grinding sexually.
Yes.
And that is what we can't allow. Other than that, I don't care.
They have obfuscated this so much by saying That they've tried to make this into a thing that doesn't exist.
Yeah, they have.
By saying, oh my gosh, you hate people because they're different than you. What are you talking about? All we have said is leave the kids alone. But that's not going to... Well, was it Jesse Kelly who made that great point on Twitter? We read it here on the show where he's like, communist, man, they look for choke points. Places that you would never even think to worry about. Like story hour at the library.
Yeah.
And they go and they exploit those weak points in your society.
Right. And then because you're protesting that, you're a hater and you want to stop the way they live. No, nothing could be further from the truth. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care.
Right. They have taken your defense of children and turned it into this crazy intolerance that you have for their lifestyle. We don't care about their lifestyle. It's the same thing that they did with school board meetings. They took parents who went up there and said, I don't want pornography in my kid's library. I'm tired of teachers.
Oh, you're trying to ban books.
Yeah, ban books. Exactly.
You're Nazis. You're trying to ban and burn books.
Don't let them
just
get
like
away
the
with
Nazis did. Just like the Nazis. That's the new posse comitatus now. You're just like the Nazis. Just like the burning books like the Nazis.
Yeah, and remember, it used to be that if you dared to bring up the Nazis as a parallel example,
you were the worst person alive. And for some reason,
it's their go-to now.
The Anti-Defamation League would come after you for bringing it up. How dare you? How dare you talk about Nazis? Well, isn't that what we're trying to do, is remember what happened so we don't repeat it? Isn't that what we promised 75 years ago? I thought that... No, you guys can't even breathe that word. Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, then can I say 1930s Germany? Can I get... No, I can't.
No, you cannot.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
Man, and by the way, so this law, this free speech zone, which is really a free speech exclusionary zone around any kind of trans event, is more than a football field away. I mean, it's not like...
My gosh.
It's not like you go on the other side of the street and protest.
What do you want to bet that'll pass in Canada? Because Canada's gone. Canada is not a free country anymore.
No.
And neither is New Zealand. We've talked about this before. And neither is Australia. I mean, those three Western countries are gone. All right, let me tell you about real estate agents I trust. Trying to sell your home is challenging. I mean, what an up and down market it's been. First of all, it's fantastic for sellers. It's the best it's been in maybe ever. Then all of a sudden, nope, it's complete buyer's market. Then it's somewhere in between. Then the interest rates are shooting through the roof. Then they're coming back down. Then they're going back up again. Well, you need a really good real estate agent who's going to come in and help you take charge of the situation and help you decide how to sell your house and what's the quickest way to do that. Do you need to paint? Do you need to do repairs? It's the kind of service you're looking for in a realtor. Real Estate Agents I Trust. It's Glenn's company, and when you have the kind of agents who work with us working for you, you can rest assured that you're going to be in the hands of a capable team. These agents will see your selling process through to the end. Real Estate Agents I Trust. Go there today. realestateagentsitrust.com. That's realestateagentsitrust.com.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
You want to finish this freak?
Yes, I do.
He's still talking. He's got more to say.
Oh, he's got more.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Man, it's so mean of me.
Halted and condemned immediately. Queer businesses are failing due to these acts of hate. Windows are being smashed. Property is being damaged. Queer families are being targeted. Our allied families are being harassed by these protesters. Queer hate crimes have skyrocketed since recent anti-2S LGBTQIA plus bills have been introduced.
Pause it. Pat, what's happened? I don't believe it. Pat, show me the evidence of this.
And if there was evidence, it would be on CNN on a loop
every
24/7, 365.
Sure would. Yeah, it's the same thing we heard all during terror attacks with the Muslim community. They were completely under attack, and the violence against them was increasing exponentially. Really? Show us. And they couldn't show it.
Yeah, and when there is a community under attack, You're not going to see that if it's a white individual that's the victim or an Asian individual that's the victim. You know, it's I haven't seen on CNN once. You know, the lady in Houston who was body slammed to the ground and is now paralyzed. I'm sorry it didn't fit your template.
Yeah.
But if they had footage of something like this happening, it would be on a loop.
You know what we did see is a trans person go into a Christian school and murder 6 people. And all of a sudden, it wasn't the victims who were actual victims. It was the shooter who was the victim that we keep hearing about. It was the shooter who got the sympathy. We keep hearing about this shooter and how that person was the real victim. And so are all other people in the trans community. They are also the victim of that. What are you talking about?
The way they flip
oh my gosh,
an issue
is
is
out of control.
I want to say it's masterful and great job, but unfortunately, it's just you're playing to an audience that just is blind.
Yeah.
It's sad. I don't understand this.
Is there more?
I guess. Whatever.
Okay.
What's he got? He's mad about people being mean or something. Good hair, nice.
Trans people has never existed. A world without drag has never existed, and it never will. Queer people have always been here amongst us.
Right.
They're our coworkers.
There's never been a problem.
They're our brothers,
We
our
don't care.
sisters.
Yeah, who
They're our
cares?
mothers,
We don't
our
care.
fathers. They're our families. Drag is art. Drag is culture. Drag is educational. Drag is creative. Drag is comedy. But drag is not a crime.
Nobody said it was.
It is.
Until you start doing it in front of children.
That right there is masterful, by the way. Did you see how he kind of weaved
yeah.
in between trans examples, he mixed in queer, you know?
Yeah.
The queer are our coworkers, they're our family, they're our friends. Okay, stop. I don't understand why you're trying to do it. Well, I don't totally understand why you're trying to mix these two. But, man, they are hiding in the LGB movement, man.
They sure are.
Boy, they're using it for cover to the point where they have taken that host, the LGB community, and pushed it down the line. We're moving 2S to the front here.
Yeah. Yep.
Bro.
It would have been too obvious to put the trans at the beginning. The T. The T at the beginning would have been like, whoa, you guys really have replaced the gays, haven't you?
There are losers in our society that get paid to sit around and workshop those ideas. Like, hey guys, we got to rebrand here. The 2S, the people, the 4 2S people in our society are really squeaky wheels right now. Can we throw them a bone? Yeah, let's put them at the front.
Wonder how the LGBT people or the LGB people, which is, by the way, how it started, LGB. That's how it started because there were very few trans people at the time.
They feel it's been hijacked.
And so, yeah, they don't appreciate it.
That's why
their movement has been completely hijacked.
That's why you have groups like Gays Against Groomers who stand up and go, this is not us. Okay, y'all? It's a completely different group over here that is using our flag. Of course, now they have their own. That's using our initials, our acronym, and kind of they've hijacked it.
Yep.
You know what? It's kind of what happened in a way with the Confederate flag, right? You know, people didn't stand up to say, hey, these racists over here that are waving that flag, that's not us.
Jeez.
And so this is kind of what's happened here.
And of course, the Cartoon Network is now doing its part to reshape society and make preferred pronouns part of your child's confusing world. Take a look at this. Incredible.
Gender pronouns. Describe a person's gender identity. Examples are she, her, they, them, Zer, Zer. Hi, my name is Cam. My pronouns are they, them. Wow, I thought there was only she, her, and he, him. I'm Alex. Mine are they, them, too. I feel seen.
Jeez.
I'm Chloe. The pronouns that describe my identity are she, her. Cool. And this goes on and on and on. And
indoctrination of your children. Again, I don't care about your pronouns, but leave my kids alone. Leave America's kids alone.
I mean, there's no safe space for kids anymore. There's not. They're coming at them from all angles.
Yeah, you talk about the safe space. That's the safe space we need, is around our children. Leave them alone, because once you get the children, it's over for us.
Oh, you know what used to be a good place for that? It was Disney.
Yeah, it used to be.
Oops.
Yeah.
Another safe place for your kids hijacked by the radical left.
Completely gone now. I mean, at Disney, we had that video where they admit it. I mean, the people who are the creatives admit it, what they're doing with children and the movies that are coming out.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Just to clarify, our discussion on the Masters and when Tiger Woods last won it, 2019. So, you know, it's a fairly decent career that he had. And continues to have.
So he was what? How 43 when he last won it?
Yeah, 43-ish, because he's 47 now, I think.
Yep.
So he won in 97, 2001, 2002, 2005. And then 14 years later in 2019.
Jack Nicklaus won it at 46 years of age.
They're pretty similar. Although Nicklaus has won, is it 20 or 21 major tournaments? And Tiger is 3 behind him, I think, 2 or 3 behind him at 18-ish.
So is
that right? I mean, I'm not a huge golf fan.
It's 18 for Nicklaus, 15 for Tiger.
Is it? Okay.
I guess.
All right.
I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, 18 to 15.
So he's 3 behind.
Yeah.
Will he ever win 3 more? I don't know. Probably not at this. Not with the condition his body's in now.
Yeah.
I think it's more that than his age, because the guy can just perform. If he's not the greatest golfer ever, he's certainly 1A to Nicklaus's 1. I would say Nicklaus 1, Tiger 1A. Many would disagree with that. I mean, Tiger he was on a trajectory to be better than Nicklaus.
Yeah, right out of the gate. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Without the injuries, he would have passed him, I think.
And where are you going to put Happy Gilmore in there? As far as that 1C? No?
Yes. Yeah, 1B. 1B. So you got Nicklaus at 1,
1B.
Tiger 1A, and Happy Gilmore at 1B.
Happy Gilmore. All right. Well, all the festivities starting in 2 minutes.
All right. Hero Elita tweets, is it just me, or do these people look more and more like people that live in the capital of the Hunger Games?
Exactly right.
Yeah, District 12? Yeah, exactly. Joe Cool Snoopy tweets, I thought we weren't allowed to say queer. Oh, that's a long time ago. Yeah, that's, come on now. That's ancient. That's like 2020. I mean, what? Join us in this century, if you would.
Thank you.
I don't know. The rules change every minute. Who knows?
Okay, one of the cool things about being a dude, Pat, and I'm sure you can attest to this, is when you get ready in the morning, you're trying to go somewhere, you can just quickly just throw on some clothes and you're out the door. Put that picture back up, if you would, please. I mean, these guys are voluntarily adding so much prep time to their mornings.
Yeah, aren't they, though?
I don't get, why would you want to do that?
I don't know.
That is, that's impressive. Cool. You got the green and the orange. Kudos. But, you got the white face. You got the weird cat eyelashes and eyebrows stuff going on, eyeliner.
There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on.
Sure is.
Right there. Oof.
I got a tweet from Whimsical Giblets. Why can't trans people be seen without being obscene? That's a pretty good question. Not sure the answer there either. There must be one. I just don't know what it is. By the way, a French woman was arrested. Here's what's happening in the Western world. A French woman was arrested for calling Emmanuel Macron, president of France, filth on Facebook.
Wait, I'm waiting for the rest of the story.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. She was arrested for calling him filth on Facebook.
What is happening?
I don't know. Really? You don't have that kind of free speech in France anymore? A middle-aged French woman identified as Valérie was recently arrested and now faces a crushing penalty for allegedly calling Macron filth online. She hails from the French commune of Saint-Martin-le-Tatingham. She wrote in a March 21st Facebook post, "This piece of filth is going to address you at 1 p.m. It's always on television that we see this filth." I like that. And we'll have to use that of our own selves in reference to Joe Biden. The post was in reference to Macron's televised TF1 France 2 interview on March 22nd, where he discussed raising the retirement age from 62 to 64. No wonder she was so pissed at him.
Yeah.
He added 2 years to the retirement fund, or the retirement age. And prior to that, they'd also added 10 more minutes a day. It went from 5 to 15 minutes.
I think that's where they kind of bit off more than they could chew as a government.
Exactly. So it was the last straw. First of all, it went up 10 minutes a day, so that's 50 minutes a week. Not 15, 50 minutes a week. And then raising the age 2 years. That was more than they could possibly take after that. So she called him filth. After 10 days of protest, roughly 740,000 protesters took to the streets March 28th to denounce Macron and his proposed pension plan. 740,000 people. That's the kind of showing we need on the streets of America in every city across this country to protest any number of things. Taxes, for one. I don't know what they've done with the tax code, but did we lose deductions or something? Did they mess with the percentages or the deductions, and I missed it? I don't know, but man, it's bad this year. Yeah. First of all, I got that love letter from them, and then secondly, just finished up my taxes for this year, and it's like, no, that can't be. No, that's not possible. But it is. And so
it hurts, that's for sure.
So my son, who is, experiencing serious taxation for maybe the first time, making some
welcome to adulting, isn't it fun?
Decent money. Yeah.
It's good.
And so he's the president of Keksi. By the way, Keksi has fabulous cookies that are new for spring that you need to try. Plus, the really popular carrot cake bars. They're going really fast. My wife had to get up really early in the morning and go out and make more because we'd completely run out of them. But you can go to Keksi.com and try them out. But anyway, he's the president of Keksi.com. So he got stuck in a serious way with taxes. And part of the problem is because, small business owners get penalized for owning a small business.
Wait, the government doesn't appreciate your hard work?
I don't understand. I don't understand how that happened. But he's been saying for months now, why aren't people more upset about this? Why don't people get out and protest this? Why does nobody talk about it? It's a good question.
Because we're too busy going to work, to pay for
I guess
this
so.
Stupid government.
Yeah, and we've just accepted it now. We just accept that they're going to take so much of our paycheck that we only get to keep a small fraction of what we work really hard for. And it's just not right. It's not right.
Nope.
But speaking of France and, calling Macron filth, in addition to that, France's defense ministry has also raised the maximum age for Army reservists to 70 years old.
Oh, boy.
And in some cases to 72.
Yeah. You don't want to be invading Paris anytime soon.
You
got the geriatric army waiting for you at the gates. Oh, my gosh. This is bad, dude.
I'll hit you with my cane if you enter the Arc de Triomphe. You're going to be sorry.
We kicked Hitler's ass in WW2. We'll do it again.
Except they didn't.
Except they didn't. We rode to the
it
rescue. Yes.
French Defense Minister Sébastien Lecornu on Tuesday said the age of military reservists would be raised for most soldiers. The move, after devising raising the country's minimum retirement age, comes as Paris eyes Europe's changing security architecture. While speaking about France's beefed up defense budget, Lecornu revealed that the age limit for most reservists would be elevated to 70. The current, and they really boosted it a lot. The current limit for trained soldiers to be ready to be called up if necessary is between 60 and 65. I don't know how they make that determination. Is it 60 or is it 65? Either way, it went up at least 5 years. That's incredible. Wow. So, yeah, don't nobody take France on because you don't want none of that.
No. There's nothing worse than rolling up into a country and having a bunch of old guys yell at you to get off their lawn. Sorry, monsieur. That would suck.
That would.
Make for a long day.
It would scare the crap out of people. An invading army would just be terrified. Get off of my lawn, you whippersnappers! And then, you'd be running for the hills.
Yeah, they'd be chucking like fistfuls. I'm talking fistfuls, Pat, of Werther's Originals as you were running away. Get!
Is that the hard candy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with a fistful of
No, it would hurt.
Werther's.
If it hit you in the head, it would hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It would probably leave a mark, and you don't want that. Now, how hard can they throw at 72 years old? I'm not sure.
What was that? Did you read that it could be older, right, than 70?
Yeah, it could be 72.
Did it say what specialties you have to excel in to qualify for the 70? I don't know that it did. 72-year-old? Like, what does that mean? Like, they're fast in a wheelchair? Like, what does that mean if you're 72 still qualified to be in the old reserves for France?
It doesn't say what your special skills are, although down here it says the current limit for trained soldiers ready to be called up if necessary stands at 60 or 65. So maybe it's trained soldiers have to stay until they're 72.
Okay, well, either way, France is in good hands, Avio.
Good hands. Yep. And not with Allstate, but with 70 and 72-year-old men defending that country.
And honestly, with the French track record, right? I mean, maybe you want to lean on the old-timers.
That's true.
Because,
maybe they're less likely to surrender the second the Boy Scouts show up.
Boy Scouts. Hold on, let me play the role of Jiffy. It's not the Boy Scouts. It's just the Scouts.
It's just Scouts now. They changed it.
That you know what? When we ceded that ground, when we were like, nah, you cool. Anybody can come to the Boy Scouts. I mean, we complained about it. Some of us in the room didn't complain about that.
Right. Jeffy was fine with it.
Kind of opened the door to, so, anyone can be a Boy Scout. Well, then anyone can be a boy.
That's
sure,
exactly what happened.
A little bit of a stretch, but nothing is a stretch anymore because
I think that opened the door.
Everything falls apart if you let it.
I think that left the door ajar, and then they kicked it open. And
stilettos.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Oh, what a mess! Do you ever just like wake up and you're like, all right, I get to go in and talk about the world again today? I bet it's sane today. I bet today we talk about breakfast foods.
If we didn't have this outlet, though,
no,
I'd explode.
Bro.
I'd freaking explode.
I know. I'm torn on that, though.
Are you?
No, seriously, because there's a lot of people on Twitter who have incredible opinions, members of this audience, but they also have jobs and supervisors who monitor their personal lives. And they can't be as outspoken. And so they have to be anonymous, They can't put their whole stuff out there. And people like Jordan Peterson and Bill O'Reilly get upset when people are online anonymously. But they don't have millions of dollars like you guys, and they don't have a lifestyle that they can just sound off on anything publicly. They can sound off, but they can't do it publicly, or else they're not going to be able to pay their mortgage in a month when they lose their job because they have some freak DEI overlord watching their every move online.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Right, but at the same time, we do have this outlet, but it's also the other extreme where it's like, the world is so insane, it wears you out, man.
Yeah, it does.
And so, but yet you're expected to talk about it every day. I don't know. Just ranting and wanting to watch the Masters later.
That'll make everything better. Know it? Let me tell you about Preborn. Do we have an update yet on the ultrasound machine?
Yes. You guys are so incredible. So incredible. We did it. You did it.
Good.
We
Thank
have raised enough funds for an ultrasound machine. And so they thought, you know what? Let's see how far we get up on the next ultrasound. Let's try for another one. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, because we made the end date Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, yeah.
We've still got some time here.
Yeah.
We could raise 2 of them.
Y'all are so incredible. Thank you so much for doing this. And whether it's the $500 ask or it's $5, whatever the amount is, just put in the comment section at the bottom that it's for the Pat Head machine, and it will go toward that fund. And can I just say, there was a listener that reached out to me, and I think this is important to remember, is that adoption can be an option, Let's remind people, you don't have to abort just because you don't want to take care of the child. Someone out there who can't have kids, and they don't leave you hanging. At our local pro-life center here that partnered with Preborn, they have baby clothes available to you. I love the system. You watch a parenting type video, you can parlay that into picking out brand new baby clothes. They don't leave you hanging.
And it all starts with the ultrasound.
Yes.
Because when an expectant mother sees the ultrasound, they're twice as likely to choose life. And then once they do, that's when they go into action for you with the baby clothes and the food and the formula and all those things that you need help with. That's where your donations come in. And right now, if you want to help out with the Pat Head, with the ultrasound machine, just make sure you type in Pat Head machine when you make your donation. Okay, at preborn.com/Pat. We'll keep you updated on the progress of this second one as we try to buy them another ultrasound machine. This would be great. Want to get this done by Mother's Day, and you can help us. Pat Head machine when you go to preborn.com/Pat for Operation Pat Head machine.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
And don't forget, this morning at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, I'll be doing the Off the Record.
You'll be there.
Discussion. I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there at the time we've been saying all week that we would be there. So we'll see you there, and we'll see you then. Make sure you're with us because it's live. And that's when you can ask your questions.
And it's blazetv.com/Pat. And if for whatever reason Pat's not there, just know that he is there. It just the people that we're gonna flip the switch or sleeping in. I don't know what.
Yeah, for some reason they wanted to push it back, but we've already been promoting this thing. I don't want to change it again. It'd be the third time.
10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern.
Yeah. 11, 10 Central. Which is 9 Mountain and 8 Pacific.
In fact, it's tomorrow on Guam, if you're listening from there. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, our Guamanians. Very important to us.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Got a couple of tweets here. Tamara B tweets, how many Kexi cookies will you need to send to D.C. to pay your taxes due April 15th? Yeah, like thousands. How many cookies have you sent to Ukraine for your share of the war effort?
Oh, gosh.
Nearly 1 billion. That's just my share. Yeah, my share of the cookies. Microaggressor tweets, so France's defense is diminished to a bunch of Joe Bidens raising their fist and screaming, "Get off my lawn!" Exactly. Johnny Ringo, I'm guessing the old timers could throw in the mid-90s. Nolan Ryan was able to. Oh, okay, I see.
90-mile-an-hour fastball, yeah.
For the Werther's candy that they're throwing at the people who are invading France.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Of course, Nolan Ryan, could he throw in the mid-90s when he was in his 70s? I don't know. How old is Nolan Ryan now? He's got to be in his 80s by now, doesn't he?
Let me find out here.
I would think so.
Let's see if I have internet right now. Hang on.
You don't have internet?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it comes and goes.
That's weird.
It's 76.
Oh, he's only 76? That's not bad. Huh. All right. That's a spring chicken now. I used to think 76 was very, very old, but not so much anymore. Not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrea Mitchell talking about the Donald Trump situation and Donald Trump criticizing the judge. Here's what she had to say to her guests.
Okay.
And it may or may not be coincidental, but both the DA and the judge are people of color, or the judge, as Judge Kira was ethnically Hispanic, I believe, Latino, and of course the DA is black.
Right.
So
may or may
they have
not
certainly
be.
become targets of his in any case, and their families.
It may or may not be coincidental, Keith, but the judge and DA, and everybody involved in this travesty of charging a former president with a BS crime, they're all minorities, while Donald Trump is white. Again, maybe it's just a coincidence, but let me just throw it out there.
What a weird...
Like a massive hand grenade to make this bad situation even worse. I wonder if they hate white people. I mean, or it could just be a coincidence. I don't know.
So she's saying that because the judge and the district attorney are people of color, then Donald Trump's probably going to have a problem with him just based on that.
Sure.
He hasn't said anything. He hasn't socialed anything.
Not that he's being charged with 34 felonies. That has nothing to do with his criticism.
Wow, that is weak.
Not that this is unprecedented in American history. And everybody knows it's trumped up political BS, but it's only because the judge and the DA are people of color.
What an insidious
that he has a problem
media.
With it. It's
trying
just
to
so
start something
awful. It's always race. They've always got to throw that out there. In a nation that's teetering on the brink of, just snapping. Just unbelievable to me.
Do we know, has anyone stated what federal laws Trump supposedly broke?
No, we still don't know. We still don't know.
That would
it
seem
has something to do with Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal.
It seems like at some point that would be mildly important.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
You find out like what he did that was illegal.
But the DA just said, was it yesterday or the day before? Yeah, I don't have to reveal that information. Just know that it's got something to do with the payments he made.
And then, what was the other thing he said during his little press conference? I don't know if you could find that clip real quick, Caleb, but what did he say? He said possible future conversations that might might be untruth. Do you have that clip yesterday? I don't know. He was basically, it was like future crimes.
Oh.
He was saying, there's a potential that there could be some misstatements, that he would give to the IRS or something like that, to a federal official or something.
Something along
I don't know.
those
If you have
lines.
that clip, just play it. I don't know if you're able to find it.
Fed now is going to work.
No,
At least
that's
this is their
not. That's
plan.
no. I'm talking about the district attorney, Alvin Bragg.
Yeah. Well, he was babbling.
He's a
trying
person
to
of
justify
color. There we go. I got it.
You can specify what laws.
Yeah, what laws?
Right. So let me say as an initial matter, the indictment doesn't specify that because the law does not so require.
There you go.
In my remarks, I mentioned a couple of laws which I will highlight again now.
Okay.
The first is New York State election law, which makes it a crime to conspire to promote a candidacy by unlawful means.
Pause it for a second. How would that apply? To promote a candidacy by unlawful means? What?
No, you conspired to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. Having a meeting.
What?
Having a meeting where you spitball ideas is illegal.
Wow. And there's more. What's the other thing?
Means, including more additional false statements, including statements that were planned to be made to tax authorities.
Planned to be made.
I also noted.
In other words, he's never lied to a tax authority. They just planned to. Bro, you can't arrest somebody for sitting out in a parking lot before they go in to rob the bank.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't go in to rob the bank.
This guy's a liar.
He was thinking about it. We think he was thinking about it. This is insanity.
Well, he was outside the bank, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, what else could you be doing out there?
Nothing. Mm-hmm. You can't be doing anything except planning to rob the bank. That's the only thing
Help us.
you could be doing. Amazing. This is so ridiculous that finally a North Carolina Democrat switched sides. She'd heard enough. She'd had enough. In the North Carolina State House, somebody actually jumped from Democrat to Republican. She made that announcement yesterday.
Modern-day Democratic Party has become unrecognizable to me and to so many others throughout this state and this country. The party wants to villainize anyone who has free thought, free judgment, has solutions, who wants to get to work to better our state, not just sit in a meeting and have a workshop after a workshop, but really work with individuals to get things done, because that's what real public servants do. If you don't do exactly what the Democrats want you to do, they will try to bully you. They will try to cast you aside.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's surprising more people don't feel that way, isn't it? When you see what's going on in the Democrat Party, when you see that it's a Marxist party now, when you see that they're trying to squelch free speech, when you see they want to take Americans' guns from them and end the Second Amendment, how do you not look at all of that and say, yeah, I can't be a part of that anymore?
Yeah, and that was a particularly important defection yesterday, in that now Republicans have a veto-proof supermajority there in the State House in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's
override
big.
the Democrat governor. That's good. And meanwhile, you got that little bit of good news there, but you had the bad news in Wisconsin, where you had the Democrat judge win up there, tilting the balance of the Wisconsin Supreme Court, and the loss by the Republican judge up there was called by the GOP chairwoman. That was a messaging issue with that candidate, being pro-life and all this stuff. I'm sorry, if you can't take a stand on being pro-life, then you are the chairwoman of the wrong party. And that just goes to show you, national politics, man, the parties are dead. You got to focus local.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Also, Nancy Pelosi was at some kind of forum and got heckled over and over and over again. This is kind of fun. But it's, extreme leftists, seemingly, who are heckling her. She's, first of all, a warmonger, and we all know that, right? But these people who are yelling at her are going clear back to the Iraq War.
Oh.
Is it time to let that go, or I guess not? I guess not. They're still pissed about it. And here's what happened as she's speaking.
See, that's a very good place for you in the depths of hell. Because for some reason, you have a very bad obsession of getting us into war. Hey, why is it that you did not admit that there were no WMDs in Iraq? You could have brought us into a war in Iraq.
She led us into a war in Iraq, got us into Afghanistan. 90% of those people are impoverished and dying.
The truth about Nord Stream.
Tell the truth.
Yes,
okay.
Nord Stream.
Yeah.
Millions of Germans without energy. You have a knack for getting us into war.
Leaving millions of Germans without power. Should be arrested. She's a war criminal. And here's another one.
See a warmonger, but you're a sad old drunk. You went to Taiwan. Were you looking for Ukraine? Did we blow up the Nord Stream on accident or on purpose? Did you know about that? Aren't you supposed to be part of the indictment tomorrow? You're a war criminal by definition, Miss Pelosi. You got some nerve. Is that why you're here in Manhattan? Is that why you're here? Because you're getting indicted tomorrow, you war criminal? How many people have died in your name?
Oh, my.
How many people have died because of Iraq? All of you forgot about Iraq? Get out of here! Iran, Libya, Syria.
Dodd-Frank was always never going to work.
Dodd-Frank.
600 trillion in derivatives, then there's no chance.
Well, they're giving it to her on all angles.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Every issue.
Yeah.
We're like
Dodd-Frank, the Iraqi war.
Glass-Steagall. Look at this. I mean, we are covering some ground today.
And I think there's another one after this.
A lot of masks in Manhattan, too, I'd like to point out.
You land your plane in
here's another one.
Taiwan, we want a war with China at the same time. We want to all have nuclear bombs dropped on our heads. We live in Manhattan.
I have to ask you to leave. Thank you.
By the way, Lyndon LaRouche is back in a big way, and I'm here on behalf of
This is
everyone
awesome.
peace and not war with Russia and war with China.
You gotta
and
love
a new hot war with the East.
Somebody's
really
alarm has just decided to go off. But Lyndon LaRouche.
This is
wow, what a crowd.
That was fun. You know, Nancy Pelosi was just asked a couple of weeks ago from a reporter, and she said, I'm not going to even dignify that with a response. And the question was, are you committed to serving out your term that you were just elected to now that you're no longer Speaker of the House? I'm not going to answer.
She was really pissed.
Yeah, so I this might help her make up her mind here. There's a lot more discontent on the left side of the political spectrum than the right side. On the right side, we're just trying to figure out which candidate to put forward. Over there, they hate each other, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
and it's kind of created an opening for Robert Kennedy Jr., who has declared his presidential run against Joe Biden.
That's fascinating.
It is fascinating. That guy's going to get a lot of independent votes.
Yeah.
Especially in the primary, as long as he sticks around.
And he'll bring something to the fore that, you can't talk about, at least and have your show on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait.
So
I want to see in the debate.
He's going to bring up the vaccine.
Let's talk vaccines during the debate, and I want to see the old man looking in the camera with his mouth agape like, it saved lives. It's going to
be interesting.
I just want to get him on a stage. I don't care who it is. Get him on a stage.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's amazing to me that they're still going back to the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, too. Jeez. People, come on. Can you not get through your head that we honestly thought there went in there to get them, and actually there were weapons of mass destruction, just maybe not in the quantity we thought because he had plenty of time to get rid of them before we got there. Is that possible, or... No. So ever since then, they've just gone with, you lied, Bush lied, no one died when Clinton lied. Okay, all right. I got it. Unbelievable.
Well,
and
that's
then,
not true. Somebody did die. We bombed an aspirin factory.
Well, there was that.
To distract.
Don't forget the 145 people that the two of them had killed.
Yeah.
Or had killed.
Yeah.
The Clinton death list.
Absolutely. Which one do you think... who gave more orders?
Bill or Hillary?
Bill or Hillary?
It's hard to say. Really is. I don't know if I want to pin that down. All right, let me tell you about Birch Gold Group. Inflation has consequences as the Fed raises interest rates to combat out-of-control government spending. Long-term bonds have diminished in value, crippling banks. Depositors are holding their breath, and investors are bailing on bank stocks. Diversification has never been more important. What are you going to diversify into? Well, how about gold? The recent surge in gold prices is directly tied to the extreme market volatility right now. That's why gold has historically been a great hedge against the stock market and against inflation. Now would be a great time to diversify into gold with Birch Gold Group. They make it easy to convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in precious metals. Here's what you need to do. Just text PAT to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold, and then make up your mind. Just get that free kit, read it over, see if it makes sense to you, and they'll help you convert your IRA or 401k that's tied into a volatile market into an IRA in physical precious metals, gold and silver. And the best part, it's tax sheltered. I mean, gold is it's headed for record levels right now. Text PAT to 989898 or 989898 if that helps you remember it better, to claim your free info kit on gold today with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. This is the way to go. Birch Gold. Text PAT to 989898.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets here. Paco D tweets, use your nom de plume when bad-mouthing your president. Yeah, especially when you're calling him filth and you live in France. Freedom Unicorn. Amen. Even if they can't formally fire us for freedom of expression, they can blacklist us within the team, making it possible to do our job, impossible to do our job, and force us out. In smaller communities, depending on your skill, it's not so simple to find another job. Tyler Morgan, radical restorationist. My plant manager follows me on social media and listens to my podcast.
Oh, no.
Can either be a good thing or he's building a case on firing me, but it's been 4 years, so I think I'm safe.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
That's risky.
Yeah, scary. You know what? Our managers listen to us here, too, and listen to our podcast.
Do they?
From time to time.
We sure?
Yeah, no, I'm not,
Okay.
actually.
All right.
That's probably too much of a stretch.
Because you think if they did, the door might at some point
this
get
this
fixed.
door?
Yeah.
Oh, they're getting right on that. They're getting right on it.
I thought it was funny. Steve Deace was in here doing his show for a couple of days this week in town for his movie premiere. And I walked by, and this door was closed. And I just kind of chuckled to myself. Like,
they got it closed?
I was like, good luck getting out of that room.
Yeah.
I wish I was here when his show was over, because I'd love to see how long it took him to get out.
Yeah, good for them. It's quite an accomplishment.
It is, man.
See, Carol Anderson tweets, if you think having a dude be the spokesperson for bras, how about having a diabetic as a spokesperson for cookies? It's a strange world. That's a little snotty, Carol. Okay. First of all, I'm not the spokesperson. I'm the owner.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I just found out 2 months ago that I have diabetes. So,
yeah.
I mean, and I've mentioned since then, I can't eat the cookies I'm talking about.
That hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt.
Like,
it does hurt.
Like, I don't know how it works. Like, can you not sample just a bite of each new?
I have done one bite since all this happened. One bite. And I mean, you just have to keep the carbs really low. And the carbs aren't really low in those cookies. I don't know if that surprises most people, but they're delicious.
I think you just call them the healthiest cookies you'll ever try. And see, that's a very subjective term.
Right.
And then you just get by. They're fine. Healthiest cookies you could ever have.
Let's see. From Hippie Patriot. We can all be arrested for conspiring to plan a protest against taxation, according to the New York DA. Oh, yeah. Right?
That's
unbelievable, man.
This country, man.
And from Jeffy's gravitational field. Wow. I didn't realize that had a Twitter account. Did you?
What's so big?
That's true.
I mean, everybody's got one of those.
I seem to remember that Obama paid hush money to his crazy pastor Jeremiah Wright to be quiet during the 2008 election.
I hadn't heard that at all, and I looked it up.
Oh, my gosh.
And there's a report I just read that said that he was supposedly offered $150,000 to shut up, and apparently Jeremiah Wright refused the offer.
Isn't that interesting? Huh. Okay. Carol remarks, well, so much for free speech as the guards escort out people at the Pelosi event. Yeah, well, I mean, that's true. But you got these people screaming at you from the audience. I don't know if you can let them stay there because they're not going to stop, and you won't be able to continue whatever event it is you're trying to pull off. So,
do you think Pelosi finishes her term? Because she's not speaker now. Now she's just a
I think
lowly
she does.
congresswoman.
It's another, year and a half-ish? Yeah, I think she'll finish.
Lucky you, San Francisco, huh?
Speaking
of San Francisco, the founder of Cash App getting stabbed on the street.
Jeez, so
that
sad.
town is out of control. And that mayor lady, she was against, she wanted to defund the police. Well, congratulations. You just had one of your entrepreneurs, Bob Lee, stabbed to death on your city streets.
I know a lot of things.
Okay.
And didn't he just move because San Francisco was so dangerous? Didn't he just move to Miami or something? And he was back in town for something?
I didn't know that.
Seems like I heard that yesterday.
Oh, my gosh.
There's a 37-year-old man in Australia who kidnapped and roughed up a 4-year-old girl from her family's campsite in Western Australia. Kept her for 18 days and has been sentenced to more than a decade in jail. A Western Australia court handed down a sentence of 13 years and 6 months in prison to Terrence Darrell Kelly, who the judge says has a personality disorder and injected methamphetamine on the night of the crime. after he pleaded guilty last year to abducting the 4-year-old Cleo Smith. Okay. So he injected methamphetamine on the night of the crime and then kept her for 18 days? After 18 days and one of the most extensive searches in Australia's history, police located Smith locked inside Kelly's home, which was just a few miles from the Smith family's home and an hour south of the campsite. Kelly told police he roughed her up a few times.
Oh, God.
What? And got angry at her when she was getting bossy and asking for chocolate.
I love this little girl. Need some chocolate,
She got
bro.
bossy with her kidnapper.
If you're going to kidnap me, I need some chocolate.
37-year-old convicted kidnapper also said that he would try to tie her up and cover Smith's mouth with sticky tape, but failed because she was a bit of a fighter. Good for her. Wow.
I love it.
Kelly had apparently been following the public search for Smith while trying to prevent the young girl from seeing television reports on her disappearance, and even added her mother as a Facebook friend during the search.
Psycho.
Kelly could have been sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Oh, you can't do that.
But he got leniency due to pleading guilty and suffering from what the judge described as, quote, complex personality dysfunction from a troubled childhood.
Oh, okay. Sorry, dude.
The judge, Julie Wager, also cited the adverse impacts of colonization.
There it is.
On Australia's Aboriginal population, of which Kelly is a member.
There it is. We got there.
We got to colonization of Australia.
That's why.
And
he just couldn't help himself. He had to kidnap a 4-year-old girl.
So, yeah, right. Because
he's
an Aborigine
injustices on his people.
And people had colonized Australia hundreds of years ago.
Can I get out of jail?
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Well, the hype continues on Arch Manning going to Texas. His grandfather, Archie Manning, was on a sports show talking about his decision to go to Texas instead of Alabama or Georgia or Ole Miss, like he went to, and so did Eli, or Tennessee, like his uncle Peyton did. And he talks about how the decision was hard because he had to call Nick Saban at Alabama and Kirby Smart at Georgia and tell him, yeah, I chose Texas.
Oh, no.
And I want to play for Steve Sarkisian.
At least he called them. I mean, that's a big ask apparently
hard
for that generation.
Yeah, that's hard.
Man. I want to, can you hold up that photo you showed me during the break? Are you able to?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see.
Is compelling.
You think so?
Yeah, I've not heard of this.
All right, look at this. See if you can see anything. Can we have a shot of that?
Can you zoom in there at all, Kayla? Is that possible?
Is it?
Go. You might have to hold it up.
Yeah.
Anything that stands out there? Oh, look at there. What did I say? I said the laces are green.
Yeah.
And then you said
that's not the cognizant part, though. His fingers are not on the laces.
Wow.
They're just on a different part of the football.
That is wild.
And many of the new quarterbacks now are just throwing the ball like that without having their fingers in the laces, which is how most of us, I think, grew up.
Interesting.
Using, and I don't know if that helps them with release time because they don't have to fumble with it to find the laces.
I can barely throw a spiral as it is with the laces. I can't imagine having to throw it the other way.
Yeah, more and more are doing that.
Okay.
But it's interesting because he's number 3 in the depth chart now.
So he was far and away. People have been waiting for years for this kid to get out of high school saying he's going to be better than his dad, than his
uncles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now he's not even the best player on the team.
Yeah, I mean, he's only a freshman, and Quinn Ewers has been playing for a year or two in college. But still, I mean, then he got passed up by, I don't know, the other guy on the depth chart, too. So he's the 3rd in line. I mean, that may change. And many things can happen by the time fall rolls around.
So
but
Texas
it's kind of interesting.
sounds like they should win the next 5 national championships.
Sure does.
If your depth chart is so stacked.
Yes. that Arch Manning is number 3. Crazy. I mean, that's amazing. So, I mean, if Steve Sarkisian doesn't win now with the recruits he's got on that team, I don't think you're long for that job. I'm kind of rooting for him because, well, except when they play BYU.
Yeah. So how does the
October 28th?
How does a Big 12 schedule work out? Do you play everybody in the conference?
No, you can't play everybody because there's only 9 conference games.
Oh yeah, you added
and there's
5
14.
teams total. Yeah, okay, I forgot you added so many.
This coming year, there's 14 in the Big 12, and then the year after that, Texas and Oklahoma go to the
2
SEC.
divisions. 2 divisions?
No, they decided to go division free. Yeah, just one division.
That's right. And the top 2 play in the title game.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So we'll see what happens. It should be fun, though. I'm obviously looking forward to it. Hey, NASA has just hired diversity champions to advance the DEI initiatives, quote, for the benefit of all humanity.
This is getting out of hand.
The Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Initiatives, if you didn't remember what DEI stands for. So NASA is involved in this BS. Really? No wonder we're not getting to the moon by 2025 or 26 or whatever. We might not even circle around the moon with 4 astronauts in the craft next year or the year. No, it's 2025, right? Didn't we have that story yesterday? I think they said it was going to, it's been pushed back to 2025 to even circle the moon with a manned mission.
And remind us again what DEI stands for?
Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
I liked the speech that Ron DeSantis gave last week where he referred to DEI actually standing for Division, Exclusion, and Indoctrination.
It's really true.
Mm-hmm.
NASA Administrator Bill Nelson said, now, more than ever, NASA is leading all of humanity on an unprecedented journey of discovery, exploration, and innovation. To be successful in our missions, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility must continue to be at the forefront. Really?
We are so screwed.
Why? What does that have to do with anything? You're not looking for the best people to be astronauts anymore. We're just looking for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So if we can find some drag queens, put a space helmet on them, that'll be great. Can we do that?
Well, that would mess up their coif.
Oh, that's true.
You don't want to mess up the drag queen coif.
Can we find a way to where they don't have to put the helmet on? Steve and Elaine's leadership will help NASA continue to ensure our workforce reflects all of America and to inspire partners throughout our nation for the benefit of all humanity.
Ugh.
Jeez.
Okay, we're good.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you.
Steve Shee, the agency's first diversity ambassador, will be responsible for building key strategic alliances with external partners, including those within other government agencies, the private sector, academia, and non-governmental organizations, which will allow the agency to be a model and leader for DEI initiatives.
Yay!
Additionally, she will learn and promote best practices for NASA to recruit, hire, engage, and retain the most talented individuals from all backgrounds and life experiences.
So when a space shuttle crashes, killing astronauts on board, we can point back to this story as,
as
look
maybe one of the reasons.
Look at your hiring practices there. You're not going for the best. You're going for checking the boxes, the DEI boxes.
It won't be a space shuttle because we don't do that programming.
Oh, that's true. My bad. That's a good point. You talked about maybe we need some drag astronauts or something. Joe Rum just sent me this message through Twitter, and it's a point that I think you've made on this program. RuPaul has been doing drag for years.
Right.
We didn't say a thing until they included kids. Absolutely right.
Yeah. RuPaul has been known to Americans for how long?
Decades.
Seriously. forever.
And has like a popular show because people know where to find it if they want to be exposed to that.
We never complained about that. Yeah. I don't think we ever mentioned RuPaul's name on this show.
No. We chose not to go and watch his show.
Right.
It was over there, wherever the heck it is. I don't know. Living his best life. Whatever.
Yeah, that's
He
great.
wasn't out there dragging kids into that lifestyle. And in fact, hasn't he spoken out against it? Saying, why? Yeah, I think he has.
Has he?
I think so.
Yeah, and only when drag queens started including children did we ever speak out about it. So, yeah. Don't give me that we're haters and this is an unsafe space and all of that nonsense. Shut up. I mean, there is so much from the LGBTQIA2+ community now. Every show is filled not with just trans people, but all forms of alternative lifestyles. We're watching this show. Have you ever seen Shadow and Bone on Netflix? Do you have Netflix?
Yeah, well,
you just don't watch any of the shows on it?
No, I got it free with some service. Like they threw it in.
Yeah.
And so, in fact, last night I watched that first episode of MH370 about the plane, the Malaysian Airlines.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, it's
interesting,
so good.
isn't it?
So interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Well, Shadow and Bone features a really intense gay couple. In fact, they've got two gay couples. They've got a gay couple and a lesbian couple.
Okay.
And they show them making out, show them in bed together.
Oh, good.
You know, are you appealing to the vast majority of people who are watching that show? I don't know. Doesn't your sexual preference kind of dictate whether you want to see that or not? Maybe not. Maybe people who are hetero, which is most of us. Maybe there are many hetero people who enjoy seeing that. I'm personally not one of them.
One of them. Also, you're a hater.
I'm not one of them. I'm not a hater. I just don't want to see it. I don't want to stop you from doing it. I don't care what you're doing. I just don't want to look at it. But man, they are pushing it hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
Revisiting. Where'd the tab go? Now I can't find it. Apparently, RuPaul made some comment when Texas was trying to ban drag shows for kids, and he had some stupid quote.
So he's not fighting against it.
Well, I thought early on he said something, but I can't find what I'm referring to. But this one, he says, talking about Texas trying to ban kids at drag shows, this is a diversion tactic to take the narrative away from the gun debate into something to scare people into thinking about something else. And they've been successful.
Yeah, brother.
If you want to help your kids, take away them guns. That will help your kids. Drag queens ain't hurting nobody. Which, as Pat has pointed out many times, if drag queens ain't hurting nobody,
that means they are hurting somebody.
Yeah, there you go, RuPaul.
So thank you for the admission, RuPaul.
It was a free grammar lesson for
Appreciate that double negative. Good. Which just like when you multiply two negatives together, it becomes a positive.
Yeah.
So too, when you use double negative in a sentence, it makes it a positive statement.
Makes sense.
Thank you very much.
I don't know math, but that seems to add up.
Let me tell you about this new movie coming out called Nefarious.
Oh, yeah.
Based on a book by Steve Dace. And I think you're going to love it. Keith just saw it the other night. Saw the premiere.
It's very intense. I've had people on Twitter asking me if they should take, their kids of varying ages. Man, I don't know.
Is it scary?
I mean, it's intense. I'll say that.
Okay.
You're going to have a theological discussion with your child afterward. I can tell you that. You'll be jumping.
Have you read Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis? Is it like that?
Yeah.
Because that's what it kind of compares to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good comparison.
A psychiatrist is called into a prison to meet with a convicted killer who's about to be executed. The killer says he's a demon named Nefarious. And the psychiatrist then has to figure out, okay, does he really think he's a demon? Is he pretending to be insane?
Yeah.
Or is he really a demon?
Yeah, because this doctor that visits him in the prison is trying to make the determination if he's going to be executed or not.
Okay.
Based on if he's clinically insane. It's so well done. And And I just loved that announcement the other night at the premiere that they were filing the paperwork to try to get the star nominated for an Academy Award, which I think is very deserving. Great job.
Okay, so Nefarious opens nationwide the weekend of April 14th. So April 14th, that's a Friday. The next day is tax day, so you can remember it like that. That's whoisnefarious.com is where you can go and find out more about it. JP Morgan CEO suggested that the government should seize private property for clean energy projects.
Oh, double G's.
I thought Jamie Dimon was
more common sense in this.
More common sense.
Yeah.
I know he gives to Democrat causes, but sometimes he makes sense. Man, he does not here. Or if you're going to try to eminent domain people, take private property for clean energy projects, no, I'm sorry, absolutely not. He discussed the need to quickly begin investing in solar projects and other green initiatives, and suggested that the government should use eminent domain to seize property for those projects. Oh, man. At the same time, he said permitting reforms are desperately needed to allow investment to be done in any kind of timely way. We may even need to evoke eminent domain. We simply are not getting the adequate investments fast enough for grid, solar, wind, and pipeline initiatives. These people are so stupid.
Yeah.
They're
I mean,
so
earlier this year he
ridiculous.
was mocking Bitcoin. Now he is suggesting for green energy project. How about you first? How much property you own? You own something that would be a good little solar panel
Would you
farm?
like that? Let's take Jamie Dimon's home.
These people.
And build a wind farm on it.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to help the greater good or not, Jamie?
Jeez. That's what should happen. When you make these kinds of proposals, we should all stand up and say, okay, you first.
Yes.
And after you give up your mansion for a wind farm, maybe other people will follow your lead and do the very same thing.
Set the example.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Meanwhile, the Biden administration is moving forward with light bulb bans in the coming weeks. We're going through this again.
Yeah, I mean, this is what a banana republic does. We swung from one extreme, and when I say that, I'm talking about like this specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what the Obama administration, gosh, this may have been Bush, honestly. And then
it might have been Bush.
I think it was Bush.
Because I remember when you bought all kinds of light bulbs. Remember that? How many light bulbs did you buy?
I'm not. Are you? What are you, a cop? I just gave away all of my. They were specific. I forgot what wattage it was.
It seems like that was close to 20 years ago.
I think I started in South Carolina, which would have been the Bush years.
Yeah,
because then I moved him to New Jersey, and then I moved him to Dallas, and then I realized I fell in love. As a free marketer, I fell in love with LED bulbs.
Yeah.
Myself. I didn't need a government mandate. I mean, I was so literally...
It turned out they were pretty good.
I was literally invested in the old school light bulbs.
Right. Which are brighter.
Right. Well, and they don't
efficient.
heat up and stuff.
Right.
And, I'm one who injures myself often.
Mm-hmm.
And so that lessens the chance of random burns on my hands. But that I had these boxes in the garage filled with a 40 watt, 60, 90, 120. I don't know what it was. Like all... Right? And I was waiting for a rainy day or waiting for them to be completely banned, and then I would have access to them. But I fell in love with LEDs, and so I literally just a couple of weeks ago, someone reached out, and I took over my lived locally here.
Oh, really?
I don't know what the project...
And so you got rid of them?
Well, I think they only wanted the 90 watters. I forgot. Anyway, so one of the boxes, so if you need some 40 watts, 120, I'm your guy. Apparently, and I had no idea how many were in there. And I was like, so how many of them broke,
Yeah.
And I guess I had 90-something light bulbs in there of the 90 watts, and only 2 of them were broken.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and they've been moving all over the country.
Yeah.
But I made the decision as a consumer on my own.
And LED did turn out to be okay.
This manipulation, I can't stand it. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's asinine.
The party of choice. It's
not America.
Right? Says, hey, you should be able to make your own choices. And that only applies to killing babies.
Yeah, of course.
With them.
Of course.
Nothing else. You don't get a choice in the other.
No, you don't. You can't choose what you eat, what you drive, whether or not you take the vaccine. Any of those things are not up to you. But killing a baby, yes. Only you can decide that. According to the DOE announcement, the regulations will save consumers an estimated $3 billion a year on utility bills and cut carbon emissions 220 million metric tons over the next 3 decades. Sure they will. Under the rules, incandescent and similar halogen light bulbs will be prohibited in favor of light-emitting diode or LED alternatives. While U.S. households have increasingly switched to LED light bulbs since 2015, fewer than half of the households reported using mostly or exclusively LEDs. Fewer than half. Still, that's interesting.
And when this Energy Independence and Security Act, remember, it's always the opposite, of 2007, signed by Bush, this just basically, at the time, said your light bulbs have to be energy efficient, which these aren't. So effectively, it banned them. But remember, at the time, the only alternative was those stupid cancer-containing curly bulbs. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that were a hazmat violation if they break.
Yes, that's one of the reasons I stocked up on these, because I didn't want those in my home.
Yes, I remember that.
And then LED came right into the rescue.
Right. Thank goodness, because otherwise, that would have sucked. The Biden administration also cleared the way on Friday for California's plan to phase out a wide range of diesel-powered trucks.
Oh, my gosh. Will they never stop?
Not in California, they won't. They won't. So they're drastically cutting planet-warming emissions.
Woo, it's
and
about time.
Improving air quality in heavy traffic areas like ports along the coast. Decision by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency allows California to require truck manufacturers to sell an increasing number of zero-emission trucks. Over the next couple decades, the rule applies to a wide range of trucks, including box trucks, semi-trailers, and even large passenger pickups.
If you think your quality of life sucks now,
just wait till all of this goes into effect. I mean, can you imagine what the price of these things is going to be soon?
Just stupid.
Really soon.
Just stupid.
The transportation sector accounts for nearly 40% of California's greenhouse gas emissions. Governor Newsom, the douchebag who's probably going to run for president, has already moved to ban the sale of new cars that run entirely on gas by 2035. Those rules are still waiting for the EPA to approve that. So, but they will. Of course they will. The new truck standards are aimed at companies that make trucks and those that own large quantities of them. Companies owning 50 or more trucks will have to report information to the state about how they use those trucks to ship goods and provide shuttle services.
Go make the sex with yourself.
Manufacturers will have to sell a higher percentage of zero-emission vehicles starting in 2024. Depending on the class of truck, zero-emission ones will have to make up 40 to 75% of sales by 2035. That just is not going to happen. There's no way that we can do it that quickly. It's 2023 already. In 12 years, you're saying that almost 75% of trucks have to be zero emissions, so they're going to be electric?
I don't care if they had 100 years to do it.
I don't
They have no place. They have no right to do this. This is...
And it's so impractical. It's virtually impossible. And you're not helping the environment because all of these electric vehicles and the parts that go into them are not environmentally friendly. The batteries are a hazard. Where are you going to put them once they're done? Where are you going to put all those batteries?
No. Don't forget the turbines, the graphite and all that stuff, that the materials that they're made of are so toxic, they're burying those in the middle of Wyoming. Now it's Wyoming's problem. It's just, I don't, and we saw what goes into making those batteries just from that mine collapse video we had out of Africa last week.
Right.
It's
It's madness. It really is absolute, total, and complete madness.
Madness, yeah. Yep.
But if you want to talk about this or anything else, we've got the Off the Record program going on today. I will be on Off the Record at 10 Central.
10 Central. That's
11 Eastern, 10 Central today for Off the Record for Blaze TV subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, go to blazetv.com/Pat or blazetv.com/off the record. Sign up, and you can join the conversation.
Yeah, and if you're one of the technical employees here at the Blaze that's responsible for getting that put on the air, that's 2 hours from now. So if you're just waking up, and you're just getting in the shower, you might want to speed it up. Let's go. You're going to have to hit that traffic quickly.
Yeah. I didn't want to switch it on our listeners again.
Thank you.
It'd be the third straight time. So we're sticking to 10 as far as I'm concerned.
10 o'clock.
Okay, 10 o'clock Central today. We'll see you then.
Yeah.
And you can ask me anything.
Right.
Live, off the record.
Unfiltered Pat Gray.
So again, that takes place today. BlazeTV.com for subscribers. And thank you for being subscribers. We'll see you then. Oh, also, we've got overtime coming up, and that'll debut at 11 o'clock Central.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.